13 years old. And this true crime is a tough listen. Derrick Robie was 4 years old and he walked himself to a day camp in his little village in New York, USA. They were already late for his drop off at this day camp and his little brother was causing havoc at home. So little Derrick offered to do the short walk himself, which his parents took him up on, a decision they would regret forevermore. Whilst walking, Derrick Robie was beckoned over by an older boy, Eric Smith. Eric was 13 and he had an odd look to him, which made him an easy target for bullies. But for some reason, this time, he decided to be the bully. 9 years older than Derrick, he led him to the nearby woods. For some reason that still can't be explained, he decided to strangle the poor little boy. Still alive but unconscious, Derrick lay there as Eric, with a massive rock in his hands, crashed it down on the little blonde head. In a further act of depravity, Eric grabbed a small stick and inserted it somewhere that it should never go. Ripping the Kool-Aid out of Derrick Robie's lunchbox, he then emptied the liquid into the boy's open wounds. Later that morning, Derrick's mother went to pick him up at 11 a.m. Panic ensued when she was informed that Derrick never arrived. The police came bearing down upon the area and one boy in particular was very helpful. 4 hours later, they'd have a tragic find, which was the lifeless remains of Derrick Robie. Eric claimed that he had seen Derrick riding his bike earlier in the day after he himself had been kicked out of the day camp for bad behaviour. But this was after first denying that he had seen him, which obviously raised suspicions. When reenactments were held, the police found out that it was impossible for Eric to have seen Derrick where he said he had from where he said he was stood. Eric kept asking strange questions and seemed to be enjoying this whole morbid experience. A key point in the investigation was that Derrick's banana out of his lunchbox had been smashed on the floor near his body. When a family friend tested her theory, she made sundaes for all the kids in the local area. Eric was the only child that disliked bananas. The 8th of August, 93, just days later, the odd boy, the evil boy, Eric Smith, confessed his heinous crimes to his mother. Later that night, they contacted the police. Eric claimed that in his younger years he had been abused by his stepfather but didn't wish to elaborate anymore, and his sister backed up these claims. But the only medical diagnosis they could attach to him was ADHD. He received the harshest sentence you could give to a minor.
So you find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree?
Yes.
He walked free 28 years later in 2022.
I want to, get married, raise a family, hold down, a job, pursue the American dream.